What's going on, gents? Welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to discuss the importance of shutting your mouth. This is something that I took a really long time to learn. This is something that I wish I had learned a little bit earlier. It would have saved me a lot of problems. It would have improved a lot of relationships, and subsequently it would have sped up my success. So look, if you're watching this video today and this is something you struggle with, stick right through to the end of this video, and hopefully by the end of the video you've taken some real value and can start going forward with this new approach. Look, there are going to be times in life where you feel implored to speak. You feel like you're in a conversation and you want to get your word in. You want to get your comment in, your thoughts. Often this is the wrong approach. Often what you need to do is actually take a step back and listen and allow people to tell you what they really think about you. Sometimes, guys, we spend so much time thinking during conversations about how we can reply, the next thing we want to say, our next thought. It's a very selfish system of thinking that at some points we all engage in. What you need to start doing is really listening to what the other person in front of you is telling you, because they might be telling you something that would change the way you see that person. They might be telling you something that would change the way you see that friendship. But if you are so locked in and focused on getting your next word in and how you can add to the conversation, you're going to subtract from the value that you could have derived from that conversation. Now, I'm not trying to say that there aren't going to be moments in your life whereby you're talking with somebody and you discuss yourself, you discuss your issues, you discuss your plans and your ambitions, of course. But a general rule to go forward, if you're watching this video right now, is to, when you are in conversation with somebody, try and make it more about them than it is about you. Try and listen more than you talk. This is going to make you a wonderful conversationalist. And it's a really funny thing, because a lot of people associate being good in conversation with being a good talker, talking a lot, having wonderful things to say. But in actuality, some of the best conversationalists barely say a word. They barely say a word. It is their ability to listen to other people that makes them such a great conversationalist. Somebody might say, I was having a chat with Alfie the other day, and honestly, he was such an interesting guy. What a conversation we had. He's a really great guy. And then somebody might ask that person, okay, well, tell me a little bit about him. And they'll say, well, I don't know. I guess he didn't really talk that much, but he made me feel so good with the way that he listened to me and the way that he asked me questions. And look, guys, you're going to find yourself, if you listen more than you talk, very popular in a lot of people's estimations. And it's kind of a funny thing. We automatically associate being a good conversationalist with the ability to articulate, being an interesting storyteller, talking about, all the things you get up to, providing the full detail. But all of those things are actually null and void. And the main thing is the ability to listen to somebody. You can make somebody feel so special just through your ability to listen. And very possibly, down the line, they're going to come to you for business. They're going to come to you for, proposals, etc., just because of your ability to make them feel special through listening. It's something that I wish I knew a little bit earlier. It's something that I think everybody should practice that a little bit more. The first time I heard about this approach was when I read a book called How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. That is a wonderful book, guys, and I'd really recommend it. If you're watching this far, you'll be able to find it on Amazon for around about £10 or something like that. But one of the main principles about being a great conversationalist is the ability to shut your damn mouth and listen. Don't be talking about yourself too much. You'll find in conversations when you are just talking about me, that people start to drift away. But when you are talking about them, and you're asking them, okay, well, What are your interests? What are your long-term goals? What are the things that you want to achieve? Where do you want to go on holiday this year, etc., etc., etc.? They're going to have way more of an interest in you. And of course, you're going to have times in the conversation where you're talking about you, but just try and make the conversations that you are having less centered on yourself and more centered on the other person. And not in a fake way, not in a way whereby it's not genuine. You need to have genuine interest. This is the thing. Don't just be asking questions because you want to build a greater relationship for your own self-interest. Ask questions that you are genuinely interested in. But if you do that, I promise you, those relationships are going to be really positive, and you are going to be perceived in a better light as such than the guy who just rambles on about me. Ah, okay, gotta go. Bye. Don't be that guy. That is the worst thing you can do. The general rule, just try and make it a little bit less about you and a little bit more about them. And you're going to see some wonderful changes in your life and some wonderful changes in the friendships and relationships that you have. People are going to find you more interesting. People are going to find you more fun to talk to. People are going to find you all around a better guy. And guess what? You don't have to do anything but listen. And look, there was another instance that I wanted to talk about within this video around when to shut your mouth, and that is also through argumentation. There are going to be times where people are trying to pull you into arguments. People are trying to pull you into confrontation. And they might be saying really, really mean things to you that are really annoying you, stressing you out, personal, stepping over some boundaries. It is so important, guys, that although maybe you don't stay absolutely silent, that you don't say something that lowers you to their level. You must withdraw the thought that is at the back of your mind, the thing that you want to say. They've said something horrible to you. Your natural reaction is to just snap back and bite their head off. Don't do that. Don't do that. Instead, you can maybe say, well, I'm really disappointed that you think that, but I'm going to take a step back, and I guess I'll speak to you when I speak to you. And they're going to be really angry with you, and they're going to say, oh, you're not going to say anything? Are you not going to get it off your chest? And they're going to try and goad you into retaliating. They're going to try and goad you into lowering yourself to their level. But it's very important that you learn to shut up and step away. And the chances are, guys, a couple of days later, you're going to get a text or a phone call and an apology from that person. They're going to say, I'm really sorry that I spoke to you that way. I didn't mean it. And you are going to increase in their estimations. What I mean by that is they are going to look at you and perceive you as a better person. Definitely a better person than they were in that moment. But overall, there's going to be a little bit more respect towards you just because you had the ability to shut your mouth. And very possibly, what often happens from that, if you let somebody get it off their chest, if you let somebody have that emotional, volatile moment of rage, and then you keep this cool, calm, collected presence, and you create a bit of distance, you create a bit of space, it's likely that that's going to have a ripple effect. And the next time that happens to that person, they're likely to take a step back and try and act like you. So in some senses, although, I don't know, in that particular moment, you've been insulted, somebody's made you feel really bad, and you've created a bit of distance, and you've controlled yourself, and you've shut your mouth. It doesn't feel great, but in the long term, you are improving the world by just having the ability to shut up, take a step back, and walk away. Because, as I said, there is a ripple from you to another person. So look, in general, there are going to be times where you feel the need to talk about you, about your interests, about your plans, of course. But just try and make that a little bit less frequent than listening to the person that you are talking to. And I promise you, if you take that approach, not only are you going to learn a lot more, but you're also going to gain a lot more in the long term. Opportunities will flow towards you just through the ability to shut your mouth and listen. Look guys, I really hope that you took some value from this video today. If you did like the video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and comment your thoughts down below. If you're interested guys, I hold a free men's Discord community. It's growing every day. Feel free to click the link down below and join the community. It's just a group of guys where we're trying to help each other level up and make some positive changes in our lives. And look, if you're interested in one-to-one coaching with me, the link is down below. Also, book yourself a slot anytime. Anyway guys, as always, thank you for your time and attention, and I will see you in the next one.